Okay, case 2. This is where the test statistic you're looking for is not listed in the table, but it is between two values that are listed in the table. So since you won't find the exact entry you're looking for, you'll find it in between two values and you will read straight up from there. And so that means we won't get an exact p-value, but that it is a range. So let's use this example. I have 2.44 for a test statistic, n sample size is 8. That means I go to row degrees of freedom 7, and as I'm reading across the left, I see 2.998, which is too big. Then the next number I see is 2.365, which is too small. This means that 2.44 would have been listed in between those two numbers. So I want to read, these are arrows, not that you can tell, straight up and look for the p-values for the one tail. Why am I saying one tail? Because it's a right tail test, which means it's a one tail. So my p-value is going to be listed as a value in between those numbers. So I don't know what it is, but if you thought of it, it's, and we'll just say it this way, it's more than 0.01, but it's less than 0.025. So it's more than a penny and it's less than 2.5 cents. Money always seems to help people in this section. Okay, problem C. I have a two-tailed test because I have not equal to. So I go to row n-1, which in this case is row 26. With a two-tailed test, you can have a negative test statistic. Remember that our table only lists positive numbers, so technically I'm only looking for positive 1.467. As I read across, I saw 1.706, which is too big, and then 1.315, which is too small. So my number would have been in between those. And I read up, and of course there's the one tail and two tail rows across. But since we said that we have a two-tail test, I want to take the numbers from the row that has two tail values. So my p-value is between 0.10 and 0.20, or 10 cents and 20 cents. Since 10 cents is less than 20 cents, when I write my answer, I'm going to use that same direction of inequality to say 0.10 less than the p-value less than 0.20. My p-value does not equal 10 cents, it does not equal 20 cents, but it does equal something in between. Last example. I have a one-tailed test because it's a right-tailed test, so I expect a positive test statistic, although that may not happen. Since I know my sample size is 16, I go to row 15, which is degrees of freedom, and I start looking for positive 2.73. As I go across, I see 2.947, which is too big, 2.602, which is too small. So 2.73 would be in between those numbers. So I read up going to the one tail row of 0.005 and 0.01. Since 0.005 is less than 0.01, I have 0.005 less than the p-value less than 0.01. Keep in mind in the t-table, the p-values will always be using the less than symbol, but I hate kind of just memorizing that because when we get to the chi-squared table, it requires a lot more thought.